Alright guys, today I'm doing another harness video, surprisingly. Today it's a EVO 9 MR, and I'm actually going to be uninstalling and reinstalling some harnesses because they're installed incorrectly. So I'll show you guys what an incorrectly installed harness looks like. You can see these passenger side belts, it's going from here into the seat mounting position, which is a horrible angle. Then your rear seat belts are actually going into the other seat mounting position. They're not going to the seat belt mount. So the rear harnesses are going into the ground by the seats on both sides instead of going into the back seat or onto a roll cage or harness bar like they should be. These are the Takata Street Series harnesses, I believe. So these need to be going into the back seat because they have the mounting positions for that, or the mounting pieces. So what I'm doing so far is I took out the back seat. Really easy to do. There's this tab on this side, and on the other side you simply just pull it and lift up. Easy as that. So far what I've done is, on the driver's side, I went ahead and uninstalled the harness that was going to this seat mounting position and just uninstalled the one that was going to this seat mounting position. So now on the driver's side left belt is free. So now this is disconnected. What we're going to be doing is, the correct way to do this is to connect this to the seat belt position, which is right here. This is an 18mm bolt. So you can see this is the actual OEM seat belt. And what you're going to do is take this off and then put this harness piece in between that. So I'll show you that right now. I'm going to go ahead and start getting that bolt broken. Alright guys, so I'm just trying to break the bolt. Like I said, it's an 18mm and it's on really freaking tight. Actually, it would help if I'm loosening it. There we go. It's hard because you have to get an extension. It helps if you move the seat forward. There we go. So I recommend sliding up the driver's seat all the way. Okay, so you're gonna want to undo this bolt, and your OEM seatbelt is gonna come off with it. Make sure that your seatbelt stays flat and doesn't get tangled up in the process. So we're gonna undo this bolt. Okay, and it looks like on the EVO 9s there isn't a washer. So it's the same, actually there is, I spoke too soon. So this is similar to the EVO 10 process in pretty much every car. The goal is, you mount up the harnesses to the seatbelt receptacle points. Like in the rear seat, you're gonna go here for that seatbelt point, and then here. You don't go into the seat, you don't go into the baby seat, mounting points. You go into the OEM seatbelt mounting positions, because those are designed to hold the most weight. So took out the bolt. There's two washers here. Actually there's four. I have no idea what order these go in because I'm not the first one to take this apart. So I'm just going to take off these washers and keep them in the same order, assuming they're in the correct orientation. I don't believe that they are, but whatever. There's a transparent washer there, and then our bolt. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the harness, like I said, you want to make sure that it is not tangled. So I believe that that's good. And we're going to feed the bolt through. So you're going to put the new harness, this is the driver's side, on top of the stock seatbelt location. Just like that. So now it's between the bolt and the stock seatbelt. So I'm going to go ahead and just tighten that back down, making sure the harness is not getting tangled. And then when you reinstall it, you kind of need to pick an angle. So it helps if the driver is sitting in the seat, but pretty much you're going to go to a slight angle. So what I'm going to do is tighten it down, but not go quite all the way. So get this started. Just make sure that you're uninstalling your seat belts and reinstalling them is a way to look at it. Okay. All right. So you can see that the harness receptacle piece, I like to put mine at roughly a 45-degree angle. So it's going to be angling up like this for maximum comfort and a correct angle for the driver's side lap belt. So you're going to need to hold this in place as you tighten it down. And it doesn't have to be perfect because the belt will slide around. So just shoot for about a 45-degree angle on this. And you can bend the metal bracket if necessary. But yeah, that's gonna be it. So we'll go ahead and just get this one all tightened down. Alright guys, so I actually made a mistake. On the EVO 9s, it's slightly different. So instead of putting the harness receptacle bracket above the OEM seatbelt, you're gonna go OEM seatbelt, then harness. So just like that. So OEM bolt, then your harness bracket. Okay, so now we have this one installed. This is the first one, it's correctly installed on the driver's side. So you can sort of see the bracket piece right there. It's kind of hard to see the lighting, but you get an idea. So now this is able to freely move. The belt can move around, and you'll have a nice angle. But now we're going to be uninstalling this rear belt. This is the rear belt going into the other seat bracket. On the EVO 9, it helps tremendously to take out your center console. So I'm going to go ahead and just break that bolt, and then reinstall the bolt without the harness. Okay guys, we're still in the back of the car. I now have both rear harness belts completely undone, but the only one that was actually installed correctly is the driver's side right belt, which goes into the other seatbelt receptacle, which is right here with your OEM seatbelt clip. It's gonna be, you can see right there, that bolt. So this one, it looks like, if it was done correctly, which looks like it is, it goes receptacle and then harness. So the harness is on the inside of the seat, touching the seat. So that's how that one is. So no need to touch that one. So now what we're gonna do is for the rear ones, we're gonna go ahead and undo this bolt and this bolt. Okay guys, so I broke this bolt, so I'm gonna go ahead and take it off all the way. Once again, this is the middle seat belt. So we're gonna be bringing this driver's side left one diagonally across and bolting in, which is why, because we're pre-used harnesses, which is why this bracket is bent at a roughly 90-degree angle. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this off completely. Once again, you need to remember what order this stuff went in. So just take out the piece, and then there's some sticky stuff. And so what I'm actually gonna do is just, you don't really need to do much. You just take your harness, make sure that it's not twisted, and just put it right underneath. And then you're gonna go ahead and simply reinstall. You just wanna get the bolt threaded first, then you can worry about the angles and everything next. So, wasn't even threading. Okay, so now the stock one was like this. So you want to keep the receptacle piece in between these two notches. I don't know if you can see that in the video, but there's two notches on either side that you want that to stay in between. So what I'm going to do is move this slightly more over so that the harness belt, when pulled taut, will be a minimal twist. So I'm going to go ahead and tighten this. Begin tightening it. And then I'm going to mess with it a little bit more. So we're wondering about this, because see, when the belt is pulled taut, it's pretty straight. It's not like twisting like this or like that. So that looks good. So we're gonna go ahead and just continue to tighten this down at about this location. And we're gonna hold the stock seatbelt and your harness in place because it will want to move around. And you don't need to go crazy with the tightening, so that's good. So the reason why the bracket is bent, because if it wasn't bent, the belt would be going straight down. So you need to bend it, and this is actually a good angle right here. So like I said, a roughly 90-degree angle bend, so the belt is going straight at about 45 degrees from the back of the seat to the ground. So we'll go ahead and do the same thing for this one. So I'm going to go ahead and break this bolt, which is once again a 16. Once again, people have done the baby seat receptacles and gotten away with it, but I believe that those are only designed to support, I believe it's 60 to 80 pounds. Don't quote me on that, but pretty much it's not the weight of a normal sized human. So that's why it's important that you are installing your harnesses into the correct spot. So for now, we're going to do the driver's side right one, and you want to tuck this underneath, so like an X. So not on top. I don't know if that really matters, but I just copy how the manufacturer does it. So I go underneath. I'm going to do the same thing. Put that underneath the stock seatbelt. And then rethread the bolts. So the only thing you want to pay attention to is to make sure the stock seat belt is laying flat like this, and that your harness, when pulled taut, is going flat. So that means we need it to be around here. And then we'll have to bend it up also, but we can do that later. So perfectly taut is about there. So you can want to hold your harness bolt into place. Can you hand me that socket? And then just continue to tighten it down. This one's a little bit easier to do than the other side. Once again, just make sure you hold onto the harness bracket because it will move. It's even just got away from me a little bit. So, okay. So that looks good. So right there, and just do slow turns. That'll help. And there we go. So that's pretty tight. And now I'm gonna bend this up a little bit. So that's about good. So once again, about a 90-degree bend right here. So yeah, it's looking good so far. So now we have the whole driver's side done. So these are all both installed, and we have both front belts installed. So I'll grab the camera and I'll bring you guys around. Show you from my side, this is how it looks instead of that. So we went from that to this. And now in the front, we have both of these properly mounted. So we're good to go on the driver's side. We just need to do some last minute adjustments for the driver. But for now, I'm gonna go ahead and finish the other side, doing the same process more or less. If I find that there's any differences, I know on the EVO 10 there's a slight difference on the passenger side, I'll go ahead and film. But if there isn't, I'll go ahead and get back with you guys when we're doing the adjustments for the driver. So I figured it'd just be good to show you guys me uninstalling the incorrect harness. So this is once again a seat mounting position. So I'm just taking out this bolt, which you guys hopefully will not need to be doing, but I'm just showing you. All right, so the harnesses are completely installed now. That's the finished product. You can see it's laying loose on the passenger side, but everything is installed. And now for the driver, you want this receptacle piece where the adjuster is to be like on top of your nipple optimally. So you want it to be a lot lower so it's not up on your shoulders, because that could be a bad angle also. So I'm gonna go ahead and adjust this by giving him more or less slack using the rear belts. So I'm gonna give him as much space as I can, and then we'll be done.